Just when we think that, over the weekend we're seeing really positive price action in a snap, that could change. And this is why it's so important to always keep in mind over the weekend we could see more manipulation than usual due to the fact that CME futures are closed. But there's a lot more to it. We're going to dig deep into all of that stuff. If you enjoy these XRP updates, smash that like button. So you could see breaking news: over 100 million in long positions were liquidated in the past 1 hour. This as Bitcoin falls below 116,000 and Ethereum below 4,300. So are we about to see some volatility? Kind of going backtracking to earlier this month, when we were looking at the historic patterns, usually the month of August is quite bearish for the crypto space based off of what we have seen in the past. So right now, that was completely the opposite. We actually saw the month of August play as a very bullish month because, of course, there's that institutional factor that we need to factor in this time around that wasn't here in the previous cycles. But, we're seeing a lot of volatility, and I have pinpointed it to two specific things that are the catalyst behind this shakeout. If you're looking across the board right now, as of recording this update going into Monday morning, we're seeing a significant amount of red across the board over the course of the last 24 hours. I wouldn't even say the last 24 hours, I would say the last few hours. And you're looking at XRP down about 6% with the price sitting below our $3 threshold and down about 2.8% in Bitcoin. Comparative valuation sitting at 176 billion and the 24-hour trading volume at about $5.9 billion. But as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So look at this. Ethereum's leveraged short positions hit a record high. Yes, you've heard that correct. And I personally believe Ethereum has a huge reason to play with this, along with, of course, Bitcoin manipulation as well. You can see this for yourself. Ethereum liquidation near $5 billion, guys. Ethereum is trading around $4,200 today, while massive liquidation clusters sit at 2,150 to 2,160 at around 3,940. Andrew Kang warns massive long wipes could drag Ethereum down to $3,200 to $3,600. Brace for volatility. So could we actually see Ethereum get pushed down to maybe the 36 to 4K range to have some of these liquidations really met in terms of the long liquidations before we start heading towards the upside? Maybe, that could be on the table. And look what, actually I wanted to share something with you guys. Look what Vincent says. The pump and dump is getting out of hand. Seriously, they don't even wait for market announcements anymore, led by BTC mainly, and I could also add Ethereum as well. A shockwave is sent across the entire market via arbitrage, market making, and manipulation, leading experts warn punters to be cautious, trying to pick highs and lows. And again, this is why you want to stay away from leverage trading platforms. Literally, why? Even if the people that come and argue, oh well, we'll use a small amount of leverage, doesn't matter. You can get liquidated with the swings that we do see in the market. And remember, now you guys are probably scratching your head saying, well, Ethereum was having a great time. That's exactly it. Ethereum broke records for inflows over the course of the last 1 month. And, overly leveraged in terms of excitement, people overly bullish, that's what I would say. And this is where I think the market makers are really stepping in to kind of come out and shake out the weekends. Because you can see US spot Ethereum ETF saw a record weekly inflows last week with almost $2.9 billion, while Bitcoin ETF only saw $500 million. Let the numbers speak for itself, guys. Let the numbers speak for itself. But take a look at this. Kathy Wood thinks Bitcoin could multiply in value by 15x in the next 5 years. I think the 15x is a little too bullish, in my opinion, in terms of the price of BTC. I'm not saying that Bitcoin will never reach those types of valuation, like where the price of Bitcoin would be at a 15x. I think that will obviously happen based off of what we're seeing. Again, this is my own personal opinion, not financial advice. Based off of what we're seeing, based off the interest that coming coming in. And based off, the difference between the largest asset gold and the digital asset gold, a digital asset, of course, is the Bitcoin, and it is labeled as a digital gold. So when you kind of make that comparison and see the record amounts of interest coming in globally for this digital asset, the sky's the limit. I think with the scarcity that it has, and it's harder and harder over time to obtain BTC, and how the demand is outweighing the supply, I think it will happen, but not in the next 5 years. I think that is too bullish. But do let me know in the comments down below what your personal thoughts are. But look at this. Thailand launches crypto to VAT payment system with XRP included to power faster cross-border tourism transactions. And on top of that, as we know, Japan to approve yen-pegged stablecoins for the first time as early as this fall. This is some breaking news that we're hearing. And look what Smoke says. Japan will launch stablecoins this fall. Project PAX, the initiative by MUFG, SMBC, and MIZO to issue bank-backed stablecoins on a shared blockchain platform, involves the same three mega banks that are still using Ripple. Interesting timing, and all these puzzle pieces are starting to align, and you can really see some big moves happening globally in terms of stablecoin market. But look at the partnerships Ripple really has built for itself, and this is what their main focus was, not to just innovate within North America, but to innovate globally. And this right here is a perfect example for us right now. But look at what Taro Sakomo says. Ripple's extension of a credit facility to Gemini carries significance beyond simple financial support. Gemini holds a bit license from the New York State Department of Financial Services and operates in one of the most strictly regulated jurisdictions in the US. The inclusion of Ripple stablecoin RLUSD in the agreement indirectly demonstrates that RLUSD meets regulatory standards and can be treated as an asset suitable for commercial use. Moreover, Ripple is currently applying for National Trust Bank Charter with the U.S. Office of Comptroller of Currency, OCC, and this transaction serves as the practical case of study for regulators, reinforcing the institutional legitimacy of RLUSD. So again, puts it very nicely as to how far RLUSD has come in just a short span of time, and how important regulatory clarity really is. And this right here again sums it up for us. But of course, the liquidation numbers, guys, I think this is something I really want to have a conversation with you guys in the comments. Do you guys think Ethereum is a main reason as to why we're seeing, a major pullback? But now let's kind of give a Bitcoin dominance a refresh live and see what's happening with the dominance. The dominance is ranging, and I spoke about this, I think, in my XLM update. We've been ranging around, below the 60% mark, and, obviously the 59% range. You can see, consolidating within this range, even though Bitcoin did see quite a sharp pullback. Right now, we're sitting below $115,000, guys. This is very, very important. Even though, Bitcoin is seeing, quite a sharp pullback over the course of the last 24 hours, over the last few hours, yet you're still seeing the dominance not, pushing back above 60%. A very, very interesting thing to keep in mind. And I still think altcoin season is intact. I still think we have not invalidated it. I still think we're still in an altcoin season, but of course shakeouts will happen, manipulation will happen, liquidations will occur, market makers are going to step in, and we're seeing a perfect example of that. But you can see, Bitcoin right now, as of recording this update, sitting below 115,000, and as you guys know, if we're sitting below this key range, then $112,000 is on the table. So we could potentially see a double bottom for this month of August, and that is something that is still in play as of recording this update. XRP, don't like seeing it sitting below $3 price point, but we cannot neglect what's happening with the broader market. So anyone that's going to expect XRP to do complete opposite, I hope you guys know that that is not a reality. We're sitting below the $3 price point, but we have visited these prices before. Obviously, right now we do have some significant support coming around $2.90. If that does not hold, a double bottom is in the picture, especially if Bitcoin does see that, and this would be about a 7.39% move towards the downside. So keep a very close eye on Bitcoin right now, as well as the dominance. And of course, we'll keep you guys covered as to what really happens. Subscribe if you have not done so already, guys. You guys are amazing. We'll see you later with Crypto ZX, and peace out.